There's never been a player like Adolfo Cambiaso.
You cannot admire that guy.
Adolfo, going into the 2024 season here in the States, was the #1 player in the world, and he's going to be going up against the #2 player in the world that happened to be his son, Poroto Cambiaso.
And take it in as Poroto Cambiaso.
He's certainly incredible at his age right now, but will he be that good?
Valiente, the veterans hang tough, and they win their second consecutive CB Whitney.
Adolfo kind of shook Poroto up a little bit in that final. I think Poroto's probably got the killer instinct about him like his dad does, that it's in his DNA to win too.
It was anybody's game, but in the end it was the GOAT, the father, Adolfo Cambiaso, putting 2 goals on the board to ice it.
I don't think he was necessarily affected by the fact that he got beat by his dad. I think he was affected that he lost, because he's got that same kind of, like I said, killer instinct, that mentality, that just drive to win. Winning is what it's, that's what he does. I think Poroto has absolutely already emerged from his dad's shadow. He's in a very unique situation. I mean, it's very difficult. I know from experience, it's difficult to grow up the son of a 10-goal player and to get out from underneath that shadow. But Poroto is so talented as a player, and he's got such incredible game sense, and that family is so close anyway. I don't know that that's really a concern for him. I think he's already demonstrated that he is, one of the absolute best pole players in the world right now. And he's not even 18 years old yet.
The fact that Poroto is so good, I think, captured a lot of attention. This guy's not doing it because he's Adolfo's son. Naturally, he trained under the great one. He watched his dad. He's probably copied most of his moves, but that doesn't mean he was going to be great. So I think that's the fascination, is Poroto is. He's already a 10-goal player as a teenager. He mirrors what his father did. And I think that's why people respect him, is because of the player that he is already. And he's doing it on his own now. He's got, La Delfina was his team.
Cambiaso gives it back in the middle. Here comes Pinello. Pinello on the run with the shot. It's good, and ties it up.
Watching Tomas and Poroto, I mean, they just blended. It was a beautiful thing to watch. It just seemed like every time Poroto fired it downfield, he knew Pinello was going to be there. And he put it in the spot for Pinello to be able to make a play. And that was just the beauty of it. And also the unselfishness to show that he's in this to win it. He's not trying to score all the goals. He's setting up a guy that's a good goal scorer. And we've seen that throughout, and that's why they were so good.
I think we play fast together. I think we know more or less what the other one will do, and that maybe give us a plus, and we have fun playing together, so it's quite natural and it's fun, of course.
They just move so fast in the middle in the transitions, so it's very, very easy to play with them. Now they give you a lot of confidence, so I feel very, very comfortable on the team.
Rufino Merlos is the son of a 10-goal player as well, Tincho Merlos. And Rufino was also the second youngest player in the gauntlet at age 16. I think the youngest player was only a couple months, younger than him, but it's a very young player, 16 years old.
I don't think I think about my age when I play inside the field. Everyone wants to win at the end of the day, so you realize that the other people don't care how young you are. They also know that you're there for a reason. You haven't been chosen wrong.
You have to be ready. It means you have to work out, you have to be riding, watching polo, watching the best polo you can, be fast in your mind to adapt to any level of polo you have to play, and I think he's done very, very well, and it makes me proud. Him and the horses and everything involved.
To be getting selected in a team to play with Poroto after playing with Adolfo semi-finals and final US Open as a sub last year, for me it was great. Poroto's sportsmanship is incredible. Me playing with him as a teammate, he corrects me all the time, and sometimes when I make a mistake, he like, come on, you need to do that, you need to do that. But then after he says that, he's like, but you're doing good, keep going. So they give you a lot of motivation to keep going and I think to play well as well.
I think it's amazing, and he should learn, absorb everything you can as a polo player, as the way he thinks, the way he approaches situations mainly, and all that. I think it's an amazing opportunity for Rufi.
The thing that's great about Poroto and Tomas Pinello, for that matter, is they don't care who it is coming up behind. They will take the man for that 3-goal player, for Rufino, you know? And I can tell you this from experience, when you're playing with a 10-goal player and they take the man for you, you don't have a choice to not make the play. Because they believe you can make it, you have to make it. And that's the kind of confidence that those great players like Poroto and Pinello instill in a young player like Rufino.
You never know when your opportunity is about to come, and you have to be ready.
Welcome to the championship day of the USPA Gold Cup. Maldovina taking on Valiente.
It's the second straight month that Adolfo will be facing his son in a high goal final. And
Maldovina advances to their second championship. This time it's the USPA Gold Cup. They're led by Poroto. They're getting ready for the title, they hope. And who are they facing? Valiente, led by Adolfo.
So Adolfo was looking to win his 16th Gold Cup. He's already won it 15 times, so 16 was going to be a record for him for a record period. And then Poroto was looking to retain the title after winning it last year.
We get ready now to start the 50th USPA Gold Cup, and here we go. Poroto will take it back the other way.
Tommy's in some space here.
Pinello moving ahead. Pinello has a breakaway. Tomas Pinello, nothing but green grass in front of him. Pinello trying to get in there and tie the score, and Pinello will do so all the way. Cambiaso takes the shot. Cambiaso puts it up and through. Maldovina back-to-back goals now of Pinello, and then the penalty shot by Poroto Cambiaso to take the lead.
I think that they learned a lot, Maldovina did, from the loss in the C.V. Whitney, because they came out a little more aggressive, I thought. They took the game to Valiente quicker.
Worked so well together. Now he waits again for Cambiaso. Cambiaso fires it ahead. Moving down 70 yards from the goal and still on the move. And Pinello giving chase. Can he get to it in time? Pinello there. Pinello still moving with it. Pinello rolls it through. Beautifully done. Pinello getting ahead of Dana Varez and putting it through on the long assist from Poroto Cambiaso. How well do they work together?
They were clicking. It just seemed like they clicked even better than they started out.
Moving with it is Pinello. Pinello, can he get to it? He overrides it. Coming right in, though, and scooping it up and putting it through is Merlos.
Finally, it was Rufino Merlos get his first goal of the day from the field to put his team up by 1 going into the half.
Cambiaso giving chase. He'll get it himself. Cambiaso tries to cut it through, and he does. Maldovina striking quickly here in the fourth chukker. Turns around, looking for the shot. Moving ahead. Cambiaso moving. Cambiaso is taking it all the way through.
It was over the line before Paquito put it through.
There is a rule in polo that you can't hit a ball in the goal mouth or along the back line hard, where it's going to endanger somebody or has the potential to hurt somebody like that, obviously for safety. So the umpires ended up blowing a yellow card on Paquito for that swing. Adolfo came unglued, was like, this is, bad call. You should not be giving him a yellow and everything like that. Well, boop, they give him a yellow card, Adolfo. And he doesn't get yellow cards. He got a little heated up there, got a yellow card. And if I remember right, he ended up getting another one within 40 seconds for another unsportsmanlike conduct, which is even more rare. I think that's the first time I've ever seen Adolfo actually get kicked off the field.
Working more together as a team especially was Tomas And Poroto, I don't know if that got in his head a little bit, but you have to think, as competitive as he is, as passionate as he is, that it came to a head all of a sudden, and it came in at the worst possible time for him and for Valiente.
The way that Paquito and Peque stepped up, they played unbelievable for that 2 minutes that Adolfo was off the field.
When he came back out, he actually charged out of there. There seemed like to be fire from the eyes of I don't know, Adolfo when he came back out. It was that kind of moment. You know, okay, you didn't score and here I am. But even though they didn't score, La Dolfina kept their composure.
Poroto and Tomas, at that point, I think they knew they were going to be able to pull off the win.
Here comes Poroto Cambiaso firing it.
Oh!
And putting it through. What a shot. Poroto Cambiaso with a laser from 80 yards out.
I didn't know the game was about to end. When I turned around, I see everyone galloping, and I looked at the clock, and I realized it was over. First, thing that popped in my head was that my dad was right. With hard work and when the opportunity comes, if you're ready, it's gonna happen.
It's La Dolfina, the USPA Gold Cup champs, 12-9 over Valiente.
Well, you know, it was his moment, and Poroto's going to have many more moments. I think this was the start of many moments for him, and that was the most important thing about the Gold Cup, is because he beat his dad.
Sí, bueno, es difícil siempre jugar contra papá. Creo que para él también jugar contra un hijo es muy difícil, pero lo tomamos bien. Creo que si tratamos de no pelearnos adentro de la cancha, o todo lo que pase va a quedar ahí. Los dos queremos ganar, estamos jugando para nuestro equipo. La verdad que estamos re contentos de estar los dos nuevamente en una final, y eso era la clave.
He has Merlos looking at him, he has Pinello looking at him. You know, they're looking at him for leadership. And he's a teenager. And it has to be a very similar situation to a quarter of a century ago when his dad was the teenager that everybody was looking for on his team for leadership. He's that good. So I think, you know, many times things don't always come around in sports. This time it seemed to come like almost a full circle. There was Adolfo, now we come back around. Here's Poroto, now it's his time. Well, the gauntlet comes down to the U.S. Open. So we already know what's happened. C.B. Whitney Cup goes to Valiente. La Dolfina wins the USPA Gold Cup. Now the biggest stage, the biggest game, the biggest moment for young Poroto. He's been there before, but he had his dad with him when he won the U.S. Open. Now he's the man leading his team, and of course he has to lead his team against his dad to get that championship.
Welcome to the U.S. Open Polo Championship, the most prestigious polo tournament in the United States.
Hollywood better be taking notes, because this is the type of story you see in blockbuster films, and we've had a front row seat all season long.
You go, well, it kind of makes sense. It should come down to this, considering they've each won one. You've got Cambiaso versus Cambiaso, and history's being made. Never before has the same two teams met in all three of the gauntlet showdowns, and here they're doing it in the biggest stage of the U.S. Open.
The U.S. Open, for Americans in particular, that is our holy grail. You know, it's the last tournament of the Gauntlet of Polo, and so it's a long season. It's a grind, you know, but it means so much to everyone to win because it's the Open.
To win the U.S. Open, I think it's one of the best things that can happen to a polo player's life. It's a great achievement, so I think that's why everyone focuses on that one.
And it's on that field, U.S. Polo S in field number 1, that's the cathedral of North American polo.
you play hockey or baseball, you want to go to the World Series or the Stanley Cup, this is the top of the mountain for the USPA players. Players have come and gone, horses have come and gone, and they're still competing for this. So without them, you don't have a game.
I know that Adolfo's almost 50 years old, but he's still the #1 player in the world, you know? And really, the only guy that's come close to him is his son, Poroto. You had Adolfo already won the C.B. Whitney Cup, Poroto won the Gold Cup. So in my mind, it was kind of like, you know, throw everything on the table, let the best man win.
The U.S. Open is underway and Valiente comes out with it first. Cambiaso moving. There's Adolfo waiting for it. Cambiaso leaving it for Piniello. Piniello on the charge. Piniello gets free. Piniello on a breakaway, trying for the first goal of the game. Tomas Piniello, leading scorer for La Dolfina, will take it in to make it 1-0.
There was no hesitation in Tomas Piniello whatsoever. He picked the ball up going Mach 1 straight down the middle and scored the goal. I got goosebumps again thinking about that one. That was an unbelievable play. Tomas and Poroto are taking the traditional rules of polo and they're turning them on their head. You know, they're taking things that have never made sense before and making sense of them.
There's Piniello shooting it downfield for La Dolfina, trying to give chase to it. And doing is Cambiaso, is he going to roll it away? Knocked away by his dad. Adolfo Cambiaso with the defense. And getting it right back is Piniello. Piniello looking for room. Wants that shot, he'll take it, and it goes through. Gets by Piniello, gets by Cambiaso that time. Tied at 2 now in the second chuck. Everything you'd want in the U.S. Open Championship. Adolfo Cambiaso looking for some room right now, Adam.
He really is the true quarterback in that pocket position there. He releases the ball downfield. It's Beckett going for the pass.
Here's Gonzalez hitting the pass. Gonzalez taking it in and scoring. The assist, Cambiaso, the goal, Gonzalez, and Valiente's back in front. Poroto Cambiaso has it, La Dolfina. His shot on goal. And it's good.
An incredible goal, and that's what we were looking for, those to start going through the uprights. This is a laser Poroto hits from 70 yards without much angle and drills it through the uprights.
His dad had the great assist to Gonzalez. Poroto comes back with that laser shot of his own. It's tied at 5.
That game, it was they were neck and neck until the last 2 minutes of the 6th chukker.
Welcome back. We're tied at 5 as we start the 4th chukker going into the second half here of the U.S. Open Polo Championship.
Oh, man, I tell you, that's tough to know what was going through Poroto's mind at that point. I would imagine he was thinking of minimizing mistakes, capitalizing on any mistake that Valiente made. That's one of the things that's made Adolfo so effective over the years, was he was able to kind of force the other team to make mistakes.
There's Ruffino.
But moving in with it, Ruffino, Merlos. Merlos splitting. Merlos taking it. Merlos has it knocked away by Cambiaso.
But every time he or Valiente made a mistake in that game, La Dolfina, Poroto, Tomas, they pounced on it and made it pay, made Valiente pay with blood.
Piniello gives it ahead to Cambiaso. Cambiaso on a breakaway. Cambiaso, his dad trying to catch up with him. Paco moving. They will not catch him this time. And he takes it all the way in to tie it. No, to break the tie. It's now 7-6.
There's moments in every game that make or break a game.
Get ready for the throw in this final chukker of the U.S. Open. There it is, and he's got his second win. Adolfo Cambiaso tearing out of there on a breakaway. Cambiaso cuts the shot. It's going, and it's turned away at the last moment by his son.
To get to that ball and stop it before it goes over the back line was unbelievable. And it's you know, fitting that it was the son to stop the father in that play.
3 minutes to go in the game. Piniello crosses midfield.
the play that won the game, that broke Valiente's back, so to speak, was when Tomas had the ball on the boards, and then Rufino, nobody sees him, Rufino's busting down the center, and then Poroto sends him that next shot.
And he's got it. Rufino Merlos with his big goal there. He had 2 in the semifinals. His biggest goal right now to put it 9-7.
They actually ended up scoring another goal after that, but that was the goal, in my mind, that absolutely just broke Valiente's back, and that was the goal that won the game.
First, and they take home the biggest prize, the U.S. Open Polo Championship, #1 for La Golfina, the second one for Poroto Cambiaso, the man who captained this team.
Poroto, congratulations on winning the U.S. Open. What allowed your team to be so effective against Valiente?
Muchas gracias, muy contento. Creo que lo que hizo que hoy ganemos fue mantener la paciencia. Creo que nos sentimos ahogados durante todo el partido, los 6 checkers. Creo que no encontrábamos los espacios, sentíamos que iba a ser un partido parejo y que se iba a definir en los últimos 2 minutos y manteníamos la cabeza. Creo que lo hicimos, pusimos mucha intensidad en los 6 checkers y eso fue que, esperando en nuestro momento, hizo que se nos den los goles. Por suerte nos metimos y pudimos liquidar al final.
With Poroto winning the U.S. Open final, he was able to knock his dad off the world stage #1 player in the world and slide into that slot there. So Adolfo's been #1 forever, and he got knocked off the #1 position in the world by his son Poroto, who went from #2 to #1.
The Cambiasos are 1-2 in the world, but just think about that. That's amazing. There's never been in any sport a father-son be the absolute best in the world. 1-2.
Cambiaso, his 4th goal of the day. He knows it. 7th overall title.
And Valiente has won their first U.S. Open.
For the longest time, for most of his life, he's been standing on the sidelines as his dad won all these tournaments all over the world. And then he started playing with his dad, and they started playing together. And so, I think that was very special, has been very special for Adolfo to be able to win these major tournaments in the world with his son. But then now Poroto has fully matured. He's grown up. He's become a man. But when it's all over, it's father and son, And I, can only imagine what it must be like to be able to not only win with your son, but then to be the best and then have your son come along and beat you. The pride that he must feel is unbelievable, more so than anything else. He's got that DNA in his DNA to win, but if he's going to get beat, who better than to get beat by his son, right? I think it's a very special thing, and it's, I think that transcends everything else. It's a father-son connection.
I think Poroto is growing a lot as a player too. I think he's growing his mind into the field. He knows how to manage the game. I think he's doing amazing as a person, so as a player too. So I'm happy that he's doing the way he's doing, and it's not easy to play against a son. But in the other hand, it's great as a father seeing your son growing as a polo player and as a person. So I'll support that, and I'm here, for him.